right, guys, this is Krazy Kev here, and I'm here with the one, the only Noelia. Noelia, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I can't complain. And it's been a little bit since we've seen you fight. I mean, talk us a little bit more about when we can maybe see you next in there, and how everything's been going training wise as well.
It did get a little complicated. I moved from Stewart. I was originally in Miami, then I moved to Stewart, and then I'm now in Orlando, which if you know me, Orlando's home. Um, it just has been a little complicated trying to balance my work life and my training life. I work for Disney and I bartend at Disney, and it is a that mouse is very he's quite a he loves having his people work. So but I have been training at Orlando City Muay Thai. Trent is amazing, probably one of the best coaches I've had. And then I do also go to South Rock Hill, South Carolina. And I go up there and I train at a Modern Warrior MMA. And that's some amazing work that I get. So hopefully we are talking May, June, getting back in. And once I'm back in, it's time to stay active and hopefully stay in there. Well, hopefully maybe do like 2 or 3 fights before the year ends, and then next year stay as active as possible.
Nice. No, I'm definitely glad that's sounds like a good timeline for you as well, and I'm glad you're staying busy in all aspects of life here. And now, with that being said as well, too, I mean, you obviously have a Taekwondo background. You're a third-degree black belt as well. I mean, talk us a little bit more about what it was kind of like earning your third-degree black belt and what you kind of had to do on your test to earn your black belt as well.
Okay, so I started as a kid, and I started at FTC, and my coach was definitely the best, one of the best in Miami. It still is one of the best in Miami. Um, Testing was like you had to learn the pumses. Like each belt had a pumse that you had to learn and stuff like that, and then you had to break boards and spar. And my coach was very much, if you deserved it, you were getting the belt. Um, I did advance to black belt a little quicker than other people, but like I have um a touch of autism, as we call it. Um and when I get obsessed with something, I hyperfixate on it to the point where it becomes my life. And Taekwondo was my life. And it got to the point where people were like my mom, if she wanted me to do something, like if she wanted me to do a chore around the house, or she wanted me to hyperfixate on a test or something, she was like, well, if you want to go to Taekwondo this week, if you want to go to this competition this week, you better get an A, or you better do this, you better do that. And I was like, okay, we're doing this. And so I got my black belt within like 3 years of training. And then I actually started fighting as a black belt before I was a black belt. And then you have to wait a year to get your first, 2 years to get your second, 3 years to get your third. And I'm actually in the talks because something on my bucket list is to be a master. So I want to get my fourth degree, even though I'm not super active in it.
Nice. No, that's definitely awesome. A lot of pretty cool background as well with your Taekwondo. And now, with that being said as well too, obviously you competed in some high level tournaments as well too with Taekwondo. What is maybe some of your favorite memories with competing in Taekwondo as well?
Traveling with the team. Um, we had one of the best teams ever. Like as far as like we would train Saturday mornings, and then afterwards we'd all be sitting there and you'd hear the parents, whose houses are we going to? And we'd have like a pool party or a Taekwondo party, a black belt party, as we called it. And we traveled together, stayed at the same hotel together. We would do everything together. And that was like by far, like even my dad still talks about it to this day. He's like, man, we used to have so much fun in Taekwondo, and it really was like the highlight of my childhood career my childhood was traveling and getting to do that kind of stuff with my friends.
Yeah, no, that's definitely awesome. I'm definitely glad you had some pretty cool experience as well in that aspect. And now, with that being said, another thing I wanted to ask you about as well too. I mean, I also do Taekwondo. I'm not sure if you do that or knew that about me as well. And
I
I'm also a
don't.
Taekwondo instructor. So yeah, I've been doing this full time, like teaching as well. So it's pretty cool to hear about your background. But one thing I heard you mention in another interview is you mentioned that like Taekwondo nowadays is kind of turning into feet fencing, and I kind of agree, unfortunately. But with that being said, I mean, why do you kind of think Taekwondo has kind of went that aspect with like competing and everything like that? How do you think we can maybe like fix it and kind of make it back to how it should be?
So how long have you been doing Taekwondo?
So I started when I was 5 years old, and I'm 26 now, and I've been teaching
Okay.
for over 10 years now, and I've been teaching at like gyms like all over the place in the area. So yeah, I've been loving it.
Okay, and you do WTF?
Yes.
Okay. So do you remember when the electronic hogus got implemented in?
Yes, yes, and no, a little bit. I don't know too much about it.
Oh my God. So before Taekwondo had these electronic hogus, it was all about knockouts. It was Taekwondo. Like it was, I remember fights ending in knockouts. And then like now it's which think smarter, not harder. Like the electronic hogus, you have to tap them in a certain spot for the point to go. And it doesn't matter how hard you could tap it because like the sensors. And then like there's even new kicks that I'm like, what? Like I went to go train with my coach the other day. And because I miss him and I wanted to still keep taekwondo in my life, and they were training so different, and he looked at me and I was like, what is this? He's like, oh yeah, taekwondo has changed complete, like everything is front foot flicking, and I'm like, yo, I didn't do that. I would throw peachaggies until my foot was like numb. Like I don't remember any of this um this point sparring stuff. It like turned into ITA or ITF taekwondo in a way. Um but it's still beautiful. Like there's still like an art to it and a science to it. So like I do appreciate it for that, but I just miss my old school knocking each other out, fighting till the death kind of thing, and then now it's like, "Mm, here's
Yeah.
a little flick."
Yeah. No, I definitely hear you, and it definitely makes a lot of sense, and yeah, it's kind of a bummer how it's kinda went, but, hopefully it kinda can go back to its old days, sometime soon. We'll see. And, now with that being said, another thing I want to talk about as well too, I mean, obviously, you've, transitioned over to, like, Muay Thai a little bit more, like you mentioned earlier as well in the interview. How do you kinda think that's, kinda helped your game, and, how hard of a transition was it to go from Taekwondo to, Muay Thai as well?
It wasn't a hard transition at all, and I think it was one of the best things was to have a taekwondo background because you know how like my signature kick in taekwondo was the axe kick. I still to this day love it. I throw it all the time. I will like go selfie, throw it from the front, go back, throw it from the back. And like when we used to clinch in taekwondo, like it's different from the Muay Thai clinch where you like have to control the arms and throw the knees. We would throw the axe kicks in the clinches. It was a very easy transition. The only hard part was I had never boxed. And then in taekwondo, you know how we like kind of fight with our hands down?
Yeah, exactly, yep.
So bringing that to like, oh shit, I kind of have to like, the only thing we would worry about blocking was kicks. Now I got to worry about punches going and elbows and stuff. But I have now transitioned to just boxing because my last fight, I fractured my shin and I couldn't kick for like a good 6 months. So I just was boxing and I didn't realize how much I like fell in love with it. And now I don't even want to throw a kick anymore. So to go from being the kick queen to now just wanting to throw hands is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Amazing to see I used to cry in boxing class. I used to hate going to boxing class. Now I just want to go to boxing class.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I'm definitely glad you kind of transitioned and now you're kind of use your hands a little bit more. I definitely think that's the one bummer as well with Taekwondo is we don't really use our hands too much. We're really focused on those kicks. But yeah, I'm glad it's kind of been helping you out a lot. And now you mentioned like breaking your shin. I mean, how'd you kind of do that in your fight? Talk to us a little bit more about that.
Um, well, that fight itself, I could definitely say I was physically prepared, but I wasn't mentally prepared at all, and I shouldn't have done that fight. I do struggle with mental health. Um, that is something I'm very like key on, and if I ever make it big and create my own platform, that's the one thing I do want to focus on because people don't realize as a fighter how lonely this gets and how much it affects us when we don't have a healthy support system. Um, and I don't like, unfortunately, my parents are not behind me at all with fighting, and we actually struggle a lot with like communicating because of it. Like they think I'm wasting my time, and I don't care. Like I love this. Like you'll see me go big, and unfortunately, like you're not going to be part of that process. But um, I kind of went in there with not the best game plan. It was just stick to what you know, which when it comes down to the basic, like when it comes down to it, like my what I know is kicking. So I remember I was kicking her and I would hear her go, and I was like, oh, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna keep kicking this girl. Like she had some good hands. So I was like, I'm just gonna counter and keep kicking and kicking. And in one of them, like last 10 seconds of the second round, she caught me and I threw that kick as hard as I possibly could. And I remember I heard something and I felt something, and then I looked down at the end of the round and my toes looked like they're throwing up gang signs over here, and I was like, "Oh, we fucked up." And my coach looked at me, and I remember he looked at me and goes, "Yeah, we're done." And I was like, "Coach, no, no, no." And he's like, "We're done. I'm calling it." I was like, "Oh my God, this did not just happen to me."
Yeah, no, that's brutal. That definitely sounds like a horrible injury, but yeah, no, that's really unfortunate that everything like that kind of happened. And now you mentioned another thing about you is you want to try to get back in there and maybe like May and compete. Are you looking to kind of go back into MMA, kickboxing? Maybe talk to us a bit more about what you're kind of looking at next.
Oh man, because if I'm not fucking insane, okay, so my man is the former 135 champ in bare knuckle boxing. Um, and to be completely honest, not because he is my man or anything, but he is like one of my biggest inspirations when it comes down to fighting. I've never met a man more dedicated. Um, some of our fights are because he's too dedicated to fighting, and I'm like his side piece next to his fighting, which I get it. I know that's how it's gonna be. But watching him succeed so well in bare knuckle, um, kind of inspired me, and it's such a big platform. And honestly, I love seeing how it's growing and how much it's helping people in their brand and stuff like that. So I'm going the bare knuckle route. That's what it looks like for me. So it's either going to be just boxing. I'll take some Muay Thai fights if they are offered and they're good money, but bare knuckles call in and we answered. So
Nice, nice. No, that's definitely
yeah.
awesome. I mean, bare knuckle is definitely a great promotion, kind of like you mentioned. I was just at Knuckle Mania for them, so like it's super cool that you're able to compete for them, and hopefully you get to call in May, like you mentioned. And now with that being said, I mean, what's kind of the training like for bare knuckle? I mean, what do you kind of do in the gym to kind of get prepared for something like that?
So I know Trent has been working with me as much as possible with like actually hitting the bag bare knuckle and hitting pads bare knuckle, and it's been fun. But like I said, I'm a bartender, so it like my hands do get sore. Like I didn't realize how sore your knuckles get. So I'm there trying to grab a bottle and I look like I have arthritis, or like I look like the guy from Scary Movie 2. Take my strong hand. I'm sitting there like, oh my God, like it's been holy shit. That stuff is no joke. So I'm a little terrified of breaking my hand because then like I'm out of work and I can bartend with one hand, but like what if I break both hands? Like you've seen Stephen Tomahawk break both hands in a fight, like, and it's possible. It's bone on bone. Like that shit's insane.
Yeah, no, it's definitely insane. It's definitely a crazy atmosphere as well, like attending those events and everything like that. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
have you ever seen any of those events live as well yourself?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've been to several. It's actually how I met Keith. And I love going. It's always such a fun atmosphere, and like, but then I love seeing how people think, like how people start talking shit and they're like, bro, I would have done this differently. Shut up, bro. You don't even have the balls to get up there. Like that's the only thing I don't like is that the fans and BKFC, like they're either amazing or they like talk all this shit as if though they don't like beat their meat in their mom's basement. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Don't,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it's insane. Like I said, there's definitely some crazy fans, and Knucklemania was definitely chaotic. There was at
Mm.
least like 10 plus like fights in the crowd. It was like everywhere you looked, there was always like a fight going on, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's
My
insane.
God.
Yeah, so it's definitely an interesting promotion for sure. And now another thing I want to get back into as well too. You mentioned like mental health and a little things like that. What do you kind of think of like Paddy Pimblett's comments when he went on the mic and was kind of talking about mental health and having the big platform that he kind of does?
I love that. I became a fan the second he said that. Not that I wasn't a fan of him, because I think he's so funny, but after that, like I was definitely a fan. Like I agree with that. Like people don't talk about mental health, and then like I hate when people like, oh, you'll just get over it. you don't know what the hell people go on, and like unfortunately, like not everybody is as strong. Like I could take a punch. I could take a punch, I could take a kick to the face, and I could walk around like nothing. But getting my heart broken, oh my God, do I turn into a baby? Like, and it's not even with like just relationships, like family, stuff like that, like anything. Like I'm very sensitive. Like, um, and it is that is like one thing I want to focus on. Like if I make a big platform for myself, like I want to help people. I definitely want to help more than anything, like women with postpartum. Um, that is, I feel like it's not talked about too much, or it's not talked about enough, and it's not helped out as enough. Like that is such a it's insane what women go through when when that happens. And also just people that like uh, like for me it's more so like I have mental health problems because I do feel lonely in the sport, and I do feel I don't feel like I have support like a lot of other people. And I see all my other friends, like their parents are so supportive, showing up to the gym and stuff like that, and I'm just sitting there like I can't even call my parents about this stuff. Like they're just going to look at me like, "Okay, are you done wasting your time?" Like it's um so that's one thing. Like I love Patty for that. Like he good for him. Like I hope he helps so many people with that.
Yeah, no, I definitely would agree, and I definitely think that was really awesome that he was able to do something along those lines. And now another thing I want to get it back into as well too. I mean, with you mentioning bare knuckle potentially being in your future, what are maybe some of your goals that you might have for your career right now to kind of get that big platform like you're talking about as well?
Um so one thing I definitely like getting in there, one of the things like I'm for sure also like very big on is my religion. I love God, and I think after I gave my life to the Lord, like really gave my life to the Lord, I feel like everything changed and things lined up the way they're supposed to. And that's one thing that I will definitely be advertising big time, like whenever I get like the second I get on that platform. Um and it like I don't really have like a set goal. I just kind of like wing it. I kind of leave it in the big man's hands, and I'm like, "Listen, dude, Jesus, take the wheel." Literally do the thing. I do what you tell me to do. So it really is like what the big man upstairs wants for me. And I listen as best as I can and hopefully execute it as best as I can.
Nice. Nice. No, I definitely think that makes a lot of sense, and I'm definitely glad you mentioned that as well too. And now obviously, you mentioned a little bit about like bartending, besides what you kind of like to do outside the cage. But besides that, I mean, what else do you kind of like to do outside the cage when you're not in there training and fighting?
Oh man. Oh. I live at work. um but when I'm not at work, hear me out. I don't give a shit what anyone's got to say. I'm not Disney adult cuz I don't have merchandise from Disney and go crazy, but I do love to go to some theme parks with my brother. Like I love a good day off, going to Disney World, going to islands, going to Universal. Like that is by far my favorite thing to do. I love the theme parks. And then if not, I do love going to the springs, even though I don't know how to swim. That's
Really? I'm
terrible.
surprised. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a Cuban that doesn't know how to swim. Like, here's my Cuban card. Someone take it. Like,
Yeah.
it's terrible. But it's I'm really boring. Like, I'm very chill. Like every now and then I'll have a girls' night and I'll go out, but I'm very like mostly like to myself, sticking to my regimen. Um, I'm having the tism. Like, I have to have a routine, and when my routine is broken, it messes with me completely. I do love weightlifting. That is one of my like my therapies that I like go in there and I do set a different goal, and it does help me out.
Nice. No, I'm definitely glad you have a good routine, and theme parks definitely always sound fun as well too. I also enjoy going to them myself. And now, with that being said, another thing I wanted to ask you about, you obviously have a pretty sick sleeve on your arm. What's
Oh,
maybe
no.
some of your favorite tattoos that you have?
Okay, so I'm very lucky. I have the best tattoo artist ever. I swear by him. He's amazing. His name is Shiloh. He goes by Dr. Shiloh on Instagram. Definitely gonna give him a shout out because he is, when I say the best tattoo artist, the best tattoo artist. But my favorite is this elephant because he did such a good job on it. However, this one, this lotus flower, I when we talk about pain, I'd rather get punched in the face bare knuckle for like 20 minutes than ever go through this shit again. I look
Really?
like the exorcist on that table. Like it was bad. That was pain.
Really? Why was it so painful there, you think?
Oh my god, I don't know because it was terrible. I
Mm.
just remember sitting there and then I am a pussy. I did get numbing cream. I did. I had to. There was no enduring that pain. And then when it wore off right up here, oh my, I felt like he was tattooing my neck. The nerves here were insane. We're actually gonna do my second sleeve, and I'm so ready for that. I kind
Let's
of want to
go.
do that before bare knuckle because I feel like that just gives like the more edgier look to me.
Yeah. No, I definitely would agree. That makes a lot of sense. So that one was the most painful one for sure, you think?
Hell yeah! Oh, actually, my rib cage.
Oh, I've heard that as well. Okay, that makes
So
sense.
my that was my first tattoo, and I had a stencil from here all the way down. And the guy was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Bro, I'm a fucking fighter. Of course, I got this." And he was like, "No, no, like it's painful, so I'm gonna do the first line, and we're gonna figure it out." And I sat there, and I'm listening to Andrea Bocelli in my earphones, and I just remember my face going, "Nope, nope, nope." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna have a line on my rib cage." He's like, "No, no, no, no. We gotta turn it into something. I'm not gonna leave a line on you." I was like, "I don't care. It's a line where I have a line on my rib cage." So now I have an arrow, and I like to say it's pointing down at my dignity because it is so bad, and it looks like a child did it from how much I was shaking. 10 out of 10. Don't recommend the rib cage.
Fair enough. Okay. All right. I definitely will stay away from that one. That makes a lot of sense. But yeah,
It's terrible.
yeah. No,
If
it
you're a
definitely doesn't sound
masochist,
fun.
you'll do it.
What's this?
If you're a masochist, you'll do it.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. So yeah, it's been awesome talking to you. I really appreciate you taking the time. It's been a really fun interview. What's maybe your final message out there to the fans watching this video?
Um, okay, definitely one thing I wish I would have told my younger self. Um, keep fighting, keep training. It does get better. Like I know there's been times where I've sat there thinking like the world is gonna end and this is the worst I've ever felt. And I wish I wasn't alive right now. Like I wish I, but you pray, you keep looking up, and you trust God, and you trust that everything is going to go well, and it does. It get like things get better. If it's bad, it's not the end.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And yeah, it's been awesome talking to you. I really appreciate you taking the time, and definitely looking forward to seeing your bare knuckle fight. And again, thank you so much for everything.
Oh my God, no, thank you. I appreciate it.